This is a screen that monitors the surface
air outside
in real time.
is full of poison.
In this deadly environment, humans don't last 60 seconds before they die. Humans have built underground worlds called
to
barrel
maintain
cabins.
order in the tank.
Conventions become the norms of
One
society.
of the provisions.
Once someone verbally expresses the intention,
it will be
to
ratified
and irrevocable. Lahai is the chief officer
knowing
of the
that
warehouse.
it would be death.
But why did he choose to do
Originally,
so? His wife Jinji found the secret of Tonkin. The
King.
surface of the earth is not as dead as it looks, but in the blue
picture,
sky, white clouds,
to expose a government
waters,
plot
he
and
made a
green
deal
mountains.
with her husband that if the surface
doesn't
was
clean the
truly
cameras.
toxic, if the surface does come back to
He
life,
cleans
the camera. Eventually Jin cleaned the camera, if what the wife says is true. But why did he die out there again? To understand the confusion of
After
happiness. 3 years, the old black man spoke his mind. Like everyone else, old black put on the protective clothing prepared by the
where my
wife walked. The last step came to the surface. The restaurant was full of people. Some people couldn't believe it. I can't believe they sent the sheriff out. People don't understand why the sheriff went out. Just then, old black out of the hatch to the ground. Everyone held their breath, a mixture of anticipation and trepidation. He was shocked by what he saw. My eyes were full of green and blue sky, so
and
the guy
white
who
clouds.
stabbed the
barn
old
could
black
see it.
quickly cleaned up the camera at the door.
The
crowd rejoiced. Some are betting on it. Cold-blooded and heartless were despised by others. In the picture, old black walked up the hill, but he didn't see his wife's body. It didn't go very far. Old black appeared discomfited. Wei looked upset and worried. Unexpectedly, old black suddenly took off his helmet. Everyone was surprised by the under Wei's watchful eye. The old black tried his best to climb to his wife. The end of the sheriff is a terrible sigh. When an angry Wei left, it was left with these words. The melon eaters who do not know the truth are still in the dark. Someone stepped in to stop the chaos. The job of the lower class is to maintain the operation of the generator. Lahai's death made Wei lose control. He ended up venting. He broke the water pipe of the generator. But after cooling off, Wei immediately closed the valve again. Back in the office, old cloth found a message on the desk. In the sad moments, a colleague reported that someone was making trouble on the show. Old cloth representation. He'll be on the radio saying hello to everyone. In the old black's message, nominated Wei as his successor. Watching my old partner die out there. Old cloth's eyes were full of sadness. Old black though gone, but his vacancy needs to be filled. To the mayor's office, Mr. Brown asked the mayor about his plans. The mayor intends to recommend him. But old cloth has high heart. In this situation, I'm sure the Justice Department will try to cram the mayor people. Wants to know, did the old black say anything to him? All the old men are equal to each other. There was no mention of Wei's recommendation. Why would he hide that? In prison, the old black has no stated purpose. From what the old ministry knows about him, how many have already guessed now what the mayor mentioned? This is the first time a sheriff's been sent out for destabilizing factors. The mayor hopes to have a new sheriff as soon as possible. At the same time, there was a disturbance outside the recycling department. The Justice Department came to stop it. They also put names to all the troublemakers. After we take care of the plumbing, we stormed back to the repair room. The old aunt knew he was in a mood, but don't know what happened. In the comfort of the other side, Wei poured out her troubles. Turns out he and brother are underground lovers. His brother's death hit him hard. Wei thinks he was murdered. He didn't believe the other person because the last time they saw each other, the little brother wanted to show him his things. They were celebrating Wei's acceptance that day. The relationship was not approved. That's why he never volunteered to come under the strict warehouse system. Free love became illegal. The little brother was going to tell him something very important. The two are scheduled to meet after Wei gets off work. That's when the Justice Department alerted him. Then he panicked and left the scene. Xiao Wei got off work very late, tired. He looked forward to meeting his lover. When he got home, he didn't see anyone. Bag on the table. There is a small box inside. Do you remember where you saw him last? I found what I was looking for. Didn't expect the next day. We got it from a coworker. I found out about my brother's death. He was devastated by the news. I don't want my boyfriend to die unexplained. Wei wants Curly to get involved. But where's the evidence of murder? So it's a very tedious process. Curly knew about their relationship. Partners have certain rights, but their relationship was not approved by the warehouse. Wei, Curly can only get someone higher up the chain. He secret moved the clue to the generator room. In this way, Wei has a chance to meet the old black. The sheriff surveyed the scene, and hopefully the surveillance will find something. Then the old black noticed the watch in the woman's hand. The flustered Xiao Wei said something at the sheriff's suggestion. Wei accompanied them to see the body, but there was no apparent self-injury or signs of a fight. Just when Hai wouldn't rule out suicide, Wei on the side but insisted that it was murder. When asked the reason, Wei However,
think being murdered is the reason.
Soon the results of the surveillance survey came back. It was a little after 3 a.m.
There are no
porters
meter.
going up and down
The Justice
stairs.
Department
is on its way right
said
now.
he
wanted a status report.
Old
Black asked colleagues to ask around
While
again.
the two
were talking, the old black exposed the relationship
didn't admit
between
it
the
at
two.
first.
I was afraid they would report it, but Mr. Black admitted that if he wanted to
give us
everything he knows. Wei finally chose trust. He told Lao Hai everything he knew and mentioned something I left behind. Double-checked the old black attitude. He showed the little brother's things to the old black. The old man didn't know what was in front of him. Then Wei took out half of the note. The old black saw the seriousness of the problem. Under the leadership of Wei, they came to the end of a tunnel. There's just a no sign on the wall. He confirmed to the old black again. After getting a positive answer, Wei took the stop card. I never thought there was a secret passage inside. Follow Wei's lead. They went in together. The walls of the tunnel are covered in strange graffiti. Just when the old black was surprised, Wei then led her down a gap. After a period of climbing, the two men finally arrived at their destination. Switched on the power at the scene. Under the light. What he saw shocked Mr. Black. A large driller is sealed here. He's supposed to be the remains of a machine because you can't get out, the bunker. So the founders used it. 9 meters of concrete sealed him up. Judging by the look of the digger, this guy must have been here for over 100
Anything
years.
Of value
100 has long since been taken away. When Wei first met her, then he realized little is known about the silo. Then they went on into the skeleton of the excavator. He was shocked by what he saw. And here I have my own secret base. And this was in a box right here last time. It's full of historical relics. But brother doesn't want Wei to be implicated because that's why they didn't file for a legal relationship. Wei plays with the antique in front of her. They don't know what it is. Right. There are warm-hearted friends who send out a barrage of answers for them. Wei mentioned, "What is your boyfriend looking for here?" But he didn't know what he was looking for. That's when Wei noticed something strange. The plastic thread on the spool was last. Why didn't it happen this time? After looking around, Wei found the hidden plastic thread. By pulling and dragging the two men to a broken bridge, Wei pulled up the plastic thread. And what was in the bag was that hard instructions drive for recovering deleted files. There was handwriting included on the bag. Old package. Black fixed his eyes. The notes above are from his wife. That would explain Kim. Shortly after making contact, his wife chose to go out. That's when Wei realized he was the one being used for a long time. The original old black threw the watch. I've known about their relationship for a long time. He was willing to intervene, just trying to find brother and his wife out weather. Given the circumstances, Mr. Black decided to go to the Justice Department was an accident because of the historical relics each in front of the order of the warehouse. Wei doesn't care about that. He just wants to cover for his in the face of the old black. Wei was very excited. The old black even wanted to throw the hard drive. Wei immediately stopped and criticized the old black. If only she had trusted her wife, maybe Kim would still be alive. Wei's words made her feel guilty. Trying to find out the truth about his wife's death. The only place to start is this hard drive. She's gonna follow up on my investigation. But only if Wei keeps a low profile and to avoid the attention of the Justice Department. He took the hard drive back to study it. We'll give Wei a coded message if we find anything. And what's the code he'll know when he sees it. But I'm not waiting to get a signal. The old black died outside. The old aunt felt a little sorry. But Wei confesses he did not show the sheriff all the notes because I already found what he was looking for. And this thing, it could have gotten Wei killed. So I didn't let him know. To find out what I found, Wei decided to go down and find out. At the same time, the mayor is consulting with the old department. The old ministry recommended for mediocre but none of them were the mayor's choice. For at last the old minister took out his last and mentioned someone the old black had recommended in the first place because he thought the old black had lost his mind. Wei is at the bottom of society. I'm sure the mayor couldn't take it either. Mentioned in the letter, if Wei says no, he wants to give away his badge and personal property. Give it all to him. If that's the case, this badge, it's probably a code word for Wei from the mayor was very surprised. He wanted to see who this woman really was. And start now. Now Wei is back at the secret base. Think about every moment you've had together. I've got a lot of rope here. And mention that there was a door at the bottom of the barrel. Now there's water all over it. That is to say, the door I found was hidden under the water. Just as Wei was dropping the test, Mayor, they're headed to the bottom of the 144th Where exactly floor. Does the barrel door did the founders seal this place off forever? How about foreseeing the future? Stay tuned for the next lecture.